Hello, everyone, and welcome to Klonoa 2, the final part. So, we got all of the little collectibles along the way, so we have not one, but two bonus levels to do.
This is a big boy. This is a massive part.
Yeah. This is the Lewis part.
Oh,
I was about to say.
the music. Man, you've taken me back to trying to get all the fucking gems in this level. Oh my god.
Luckily, I don't care.
No.
What does that have to do with the music?
Because listen to the music and imagine playing this level for like 45 fucking minutes.
Oh, I just turned up my volume and yeah, I can... Okay.
I had to do it for the stream, otherwise nobody would think I was good at video games. Because that matters. It means a lot. It means that it's my only thing I have in life.
Well, I mean, it's a Klonoa game, so I'm not exactly seeing this as a series that gets you particularly massive street cred, but...
Oh, you don't know, man. Until you've done it, you have no idea.
I mean, completing a Klonoa game just seems more time-consuming than difficult.
This is time-consuming and difficult.
Mechanically difficult or just difficult to listen to?
Everything. It's difficult to listen to. It's difficult to get everything. The timing's difficult. The positioning's difficult. Because the challenges on their own are the hardest in the game, which is, you know, if you're doing it the way Ryan's doing it, is actually quite refreshing and kind of like, oh, this is a really neat challenge. But when you have to start doing shit that involves trying to get gems that you can only get on one attempt of getting past a bottomless pit, that also means... Like, imagine doing all that shit that Ryan is trying to pull off right now, but then you only have, like, one attempt to grab all of the gems that are on that screen at that one point because the door is timed, and you, like, there's a bottomless pit underneath it, and it's a nightmare. I hated it.
I'm starting to see that now, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like you've got some of the power-ups that double the gem counts, and you have to get them in the right timing in the right place as well, and you have to pick up the right gems, and sometimes you have to speed run through sections, and sometimes you don't, but you don't know which parts are which until you... it sucks. It's so hard. It's so difficult.
Oof.
Yeah.
All that for an image gallery image.
Yeah. And I'm very proud of myself. Because that I like it, even if it's a silly reward, I like stuff like that, because if anybody came to my house and said, hey, you know that bit in Klonoa 2 with the bonus levels and getting all the gems, and I'd say, oh yeah, you know, the hardest bit of like the PS2 era, the hardest thing that ever happened on the PlayStation 2, that thing, and they're like, yeah, did you ever do it? And I'll say, yeah, I did, and then they go, I don't believe you, prove it. At least I can prove it because I have the image. Nobody can deny it.
All
You
right.
also did it on stream, so you can prove it.
And I streamed it live, so I can prove it there as well. You just need to sit there for 45, 50 minutes watching me fuck it up over and over again. It's a small price to pay.
But is it worth paying for?
Well, you don't have to. I mean, unless you value time as currency, I suppose, in which case it's quite expensive.
Okay. Well...
Like, time being the currency of your life on this earth, I suppose.
I'm gonna say, though, I'm not particularly liking this level design.
It's just it's a cacophony of shit. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, hey, let's get some difficult level design in here.
I mean, it doesn't look as artistically striking as the other levels in the game.
It's just a bonus level.
So that makes my plight even more pointless because I didn't need to do it.
Because this sort of checkerboard wall pattern, flat texture kind of thing is something that I associate with, like, well, Pandemonium.
God, you made that look so fucking easy.
Again, I didn't go for everything, so I don't care.
Woo.
Hang on, are there two bonus levels?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it was the second one that gave me the most trouble. I can't remember. It was a while ago I played this.
Chamber of Fun.
Oh, the Chamber of Fun and the Chamber of Horror? Chamber of Terror? Yeah, horror.
I think so,
I
yeah.
like how they put the "oh fun" all as one word so that it's like some kind of Irish name instead of, you know, a contraction. So we're actually like going to meet someone whose name is Chamber of Fun. Chamber of Fun.
Chamber of Fun. Chamber
now it's
of
Chamber
Horrors.
of Horrors.
Oddly enough, the horror guy is the one to hang out with. There's really good parties.
That's
say
a,
that the
Chamber of
if
Fun,
I had
Chamber
an,
of Fun's no fun at all.
if I had an Irish bar, I would call it Chamber of Horrors. Oh dear, you messed up already.
Yep.
I will say that, like, the Chamber of Horrors does at least look more visually interesting than the Chamber of Fun.
Mm-hmm. All you got to do to make something look cool in a horror setting is put some purple goop in it.
Well, I was more referring to the background, honestly.
No, the background's cool, but yeah, it's nothing without the purple goop. Makes the level.
I'm a bit of a sucker in games for places that are meant to be in-universe, like theme park attractions, I guess.
Yeah.
Like how in...
We had this conversation with Ape Escape, didn't we? We were talking about Spectreland.
I think...
Maybe. I don't know.
What I was thinking about off the top of my own head was the haunted house area in Silent Hill 3.
Oh, yeah.
Was already a funny concept by default because you're playing a horror game and going through a theme park haunted house in the process.
I remember playing that bit as a kid. Like an early teenager, and unironically, that was one of the scariest bits of the game because of it tricked you like an actual ghost train, but then it's like all the little weird jump scares and shit, but it's like, but this is Silent Hill, so this isn't all it's gonna be, is it? And you're just waiting for something to happen, but it's like, no, it's actually just a haunted house attraction. Nothing bad happens.
It messes with your expectations.
Yeah,
Something.
it's
awful,
really
yeah.
clever. It's really clever.
Ooh. Oh.
I can tell just by the way you're playing this that you're rushing this to hell.
I don't want to take too long.
Yeah, clearly.
But ironically, you wind up taking longer because of all the times you mess up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Recording curse.
And we are 7.5 minutes in, and we've got another 23 minutes to go. Yeah, we're doing all right.
Thankfully, we have the final boss and the final cutscenes and stuff and the credits to do, so I don't spend too long.
Okay. Oh, this is bringing back so many memories. Jeez.
Bad ones.
Yeah. Not pleasant ones.
Come on, game.
That line of 3 pigs there is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Like you got barely nowhere to land that won't bounce you into the goop pit. Oh,
When did you grab
jeez,
anything?
man. Yeah, I will say in your defense, the hitboxes on the grabby wing things are really, really tight.
yeah. I imagine like there's a gameplay mechanics reason for them being that tight, but I'm at a loss for explaining why that would be. Ugh, these things move so fast.
You got it. You got it.
Yay.
Oh, it took a hit, but it's fine. Traded it.
Yep. Got to the next room. That's all that matters.
This is the bit that fucked me up, wasn't it? I remember this whole...
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is a nightmare. If you do it the way Ryan's doing it now, it's no problem at all. But if you do it the way I was trying to do it, which was getting that gold thing, trying to absorb as many enemies as I could to open like one of those crystal doors while trying to get all the gems, it's close to impossible.
Oof.
Yeah, because that's the door you want to try and open, but you have to get over that pit while absorbing the enemies, but you also can't absorb all of them, otherwise you can't do the combo jump to get over the goop. It's so awful. It's so awful.
Ugh.
And you just did it in like 30 seconds. Oh.
It's nice not having to care about rewards.
Yeah. I thought I would at least get like an achievement for doing it, and you don't. You just get the art gallery. You get an achievement for beating the bonus levels, you just don't get an achievement for getting all the gems in the game, which was really sad.
One of the things about achievement systems is that they started out as this kind of like incentive for hardcore gamers to be super completionists. So in the early days, you'd have a lot of achievements for games that were like really hard to get or really time consuming to go after. But over time, the gaming community started to see like achievement completion as almost part of regular game completion.
Yeah.
So they would start bitching and moaning if the achievements were too difficult.
See, I don't understand that at all. I get, I get people liking and disliking it. I love achievements myself. I love them. It makes me like,
I like the idea
just
of
a little,
but
yeah.
I rarely ever go after them.
I don't go after all of them unless I feel like I could, like something like, I don't know, Super Meat Boy. Nah, love the game, one of my favorites. No way am I getting all the achievements because I know my limits. And but then with Resident Evil 4 Remake, I'm currently trying to get everything right now because I think I could realistically do that, Yeah.
But like the popular perception of the of achievements has become that they shouldn't be too hard because people want to see that 100% completion meter on their thing, but they don't want to work too hard for it. So nowadays, what you have are games that sort of cheat and have really easy regular achievement completion, but then they have a secondary achievement system within the game that has more achievements than the achievement thing on the system. Like Persona 5 has like a really, really, really goddamn easy list of achievements for the Platinum Trophy, right?
Hasn't it got like 200 achievements or something ridiculous like that?
Well, the original Persona 5, I should say, had a harder achievement list where you had to really work for it. But on Persona 5 Royal specifically, I was able to get all of the achievements pretty easily on my first playthrough. But they have a second achievement list in the Thieves' Den. That's just like the true 110% completion hardcore achievement list.
Wow.
But it's not tied into the actual achievements, so I guess gamers feel less pressured to go after it.
I think there's a simpler explanation as well, being that the general population attention spans are getting shorter, and people are always, one second they're complaining about games being too long, and then the next second they're complaining about it's too expensive, but then they don't have enough time, and then they beat it too quickly, and blah blah blah. But I think in general, people like seeing the achievements pop. It's a quick boost of adrenaline, a quick dopamine hit. You get a nice little noise, you get a nice little pop up, and it keeps you going a little bit. I like it when that happens. That's one of the main reasons I don't play every portable thing I can on the Switch. I usually go for the Steam Deck because I see the little achievement pop up. I like it.
Nah, over time I've come to think that like achievements were a mistake. Like,
very cynical. Very cynical.
Maybe we shouldn't have tried to draw in the hardcore gaming crowd with something quite so blatant. Because when you boil it down, the hardcore gaming crowd is always going to be looking for hardcore games to play, and you don't really need to encourage them to do that by making it more obvious when they get something, because the achievements...
But it's fun!
The achievements that were meant to appeal to the hardcore gamers only ever wound up appealing to the general gaming audience, the casual crowd. That just want that dopamine hit, as you described it.
But then I would argue that, like, if you're hardcore trying to play the hardest games of all time, you're already getting the dopamine, that you're looking for a dopamine hit yourself, because that's why you play ridiculously hard things. So it's just a little added bonus. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, they were always going to get what they wanted out of gaming.
Oh, I see. So it's superfluous. It's superfluous.
Yeah.
Right.
The achievement system started out as just this really artificial way to give those particular gamers a sense that they were getting what they wanted out of a game without necessarily always appealing to them in the game's design. But it wound up looping around and just appealing to the casual crowd.
And it ruined Gerard the completionist's life. poor little man.
That's funny because it's true.
Yeah, sadly.
Now, we're looking at this camera angle where it's like spinning around at a complete top angle, and all I can think of is Wow, that cookie looks tasty.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
It's
looked
like-
more like a bumhole, but let's say cookie. That's a nicer way of looking at it.
Oh, it looks like a little cinnamon cookie.
Yeah, I guess it does. Oh no. What?
Well, you know, maybe it's just an ink blot test.
Oh, the ice cream melted.
Maybe it's just an ink blot test. Wait, is this Impa?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say it was more Midna.
Impa became Midna. I don't. What the heck?
Yeah, so everybody heard it. Klonoa is now Jesus Christ.
Apparently so.
You heard it here first. Gonna be nailed to that board.
Oh no.
So it'll
It's
be
a
a Korok?
special stage. What the hell?
It's the Doctor Who intro.
No, it's the Time Eater. It's the fucking Time Eater. No. Help.
Don't worry, it's much less annoying than the Time Eater.
Well, yeah. The issue with the Time Eater was that, like...
Was the Time
The
Eater in Sonic
graphical-
Generations?
Yes.
I don't remember. Okay, I that was another game I got all the achievements for. Not like maybe about, well, it was the start of COVID because everyone was, stuck at home. And I don't remember that being particularly annoying to me. I don't know. I remember everyone talking about the Time Eater and I was like, it wasn't great. It wasn't awful though.
The Time Eater is not difficult, but it's also a visual clusterfuck that's just unpleasant to look at. And it's compounded by the fact that the characters in the background never shut up.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, actually, I'll give you that. Yeah, I do remember that.
So it's just like it's a distractingly mediocre final boss at the end of an otherwise quite good game.
Oh, that's my name. Caddy.
What?
That's it. And now we have the next bit.
Okay, that was distractingly easy.
That wasn't the final boss, though. First phase of the final boss.
That was the warm up. That was.
Because I was gonna say, like, if that was the final boss, and that's the most anticlimactic final boss I've ever played since Crash 2 Cortex.
That was actually very Cortex, wasn't it? Yeah.
We got the anime speeches rolling in hard here.
We need another perv line.
So like, a mass of pure sorrow, tranquility, joy, discord, and indecision.
Indecision. The 4 pillars that keep this world alive, one of them being indecision.
Well, I mean, I get the idea that they're supposed to be opposing elements. I'm a little unclear on where indecision fits in that dichotomy, though.
Yeah, same here.
It's like, yeah, okay,
Indecision isn't an emotion, though. Indecision is a mental block. That's like saying, "Oh, look, it's one of the 4 elementals." Stupid. Like that's not an emotion. That's just
well, I mean, indecision on an emotional level, it does make sense as something to bring up, but like, because when you're when you're indecisive, it's usually because you hold some anxiety over the choice being made, right?
Well, then it should be anxiety, then, shouldn't it?
Well, not necessarily, because anxiety as a concept is more general. But
and so is sorrow and joy.
Yeah, but those have their own separate things.
Yeah, exactly. So it should be anxiety.
I'm trying to wonder if, like, indecision is supposed to be like the 5th element that like embodies the conflict between all the other opposing elements, because like
Maybe. Yeah, that was the one thing missing from the movie. That was the thing that was needed. Indecisiveness.
what?
The Fifth Element movie.
God
Yeah,
damn it.
at the end of it, Bruce Willis just had to go like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing," and then and everything would have been fine.
You can't mention the concept of a fifth element without that movie coming up. God damn it.
It's literally called The Fifth Element. What do you expect?
I don't even get why people even remember that movie. I don't like it.
It's a great movie.
Eh.
I mean, to be fair, like the second that Klonoa was talking about rings, you started talking about Lord of the Rings.
Well, yeah, but The Lord of the Rings is actually good. And not ironically good, but good.
Ooh.
I feel like
comment
everyone,
section.
I feel like everyone who remembers The Fifth Element is remembering it for the memes and the so bad it's good moments. And it's just like, eh.
I mean, I can't comment. I just think it's incredibly stylish, incredibly well directed and slick, and yeah, a little bit too ridiculous. But it's a visionary, artistic thing. I really like it.
I'll give it the unique style. That's interesting, but like, I never really liked it in the sense that like, it didn't look like the style was something organic to the world it was portraying. And the only time that felt like it actually worked was when they were like at the frickin' what was it, a hotel? Some kind of event that was at a hotel.
Yeah. What are you talking about? The opera bit?
The opera bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it makes sense for everyone to be all dolled up and costumey there, but like, I wasn't really feeling it for the rest of the movie.
That's fair. I don't really know. I mean, I guess that just goes to show the talents of directors. I don't know how you go from like that to like Leon the Professional, but you know, I'm not. I don't make films. I've not got nowhere to comment. But yeah,
The Fifth Element also exists in just an awkward time when people were still figuring out how to do sci-fi aesthetically. Like,
but Blade Runner had already been done, right?
It had, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a completely different tone, but yeah.
it might not have nestled itself firmly into the collective consciousness due to that whole theatrical cut, director's cut fiasco.
Yeah, true.
Because, goddamn.
You do realize that this is going to be your most disliked part of the entire Klonoa 2 playthrough for just saying that about Fifth Element. You do realize that, right?
Fuck them. It's like, you know.
I was just gonna say. So you don't like the Fifth Element. You said that it sucks, and you've been saying through this whole thing. I like Pandemonium more.
I didn't say that it sucks. I just said I don't like it and I don't get it.
Okay, you don't like Fifth Element, you don't get Fifth Element, and you also, through this whole thing, have said, I prefer Pandemonium. So
I don't have enough knowledge or understanding of cinema as a medium to definitively say that the Fifth Element sucks, because it's a bit too out there stylistically for me to really put my finger on the technique behind its creation. I can't say the Fifth Element sucks in the same way that I can say Star Wars: The Phantom Menace sucks, because it doesn't take like a film aficionado to see how poorly directed that Star Wars that most of the Star Wars prequels were, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. Equally though, you like, I am just ribbing. You can just say if you did think it sucks. I like, it doesn't. It shouldn't bother anybody. It just does, because that's the world we live in. So yeah.
I don't think the Fifth Element sucks. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Like, I think Brussels sprouts suck, and it's like, no, but like loads of people, if they liked Brussels sprouts, would not get that upset about it. But it's like, well, it's the same thing. I don't like the taste of some things, and I don't like some media. Like, it's very simple, you know.
Well, we've beat the game. The final boss passed us by. But, like, I don't know. I feel like Klonoa 2's final boss was Anime Speeches, the boss.
Kinda, yeah.
But maybe I've seen too much of this stuff to really give much of a damn about the particular concepts and emotional wavelength that those kind of speeches have. But hey, Klonoa's leaving the world, of course.
This does not hit as heavy as the original. I think everyone can agree on that.
Yeah, because it kind of the mood whiplash.
Yeah, I think, well, it's the mood whiplash, but also because, like, I think in this game he's a seasoned dream walker kind of person, and he knows what this is gonna mean, and he's ready for it. But in the original, he was like, he thought everything was happening that was real, and that's kind of fucked up. Well, no, not real, but like not in his world.
Yeah.
Oh no, the tears are coming. The anime tears are coming. I can barely see them though because of the art style.
And that's a real hug, Tat. Learn to do hugs better.
So why does Klonoa have to leave?
Because he's not originally from here.
He's kind of like a special secret agent of dreams. He kind of gets summoned by different people when they need his help, and then he fixes the problem and gets sent back, kind of thing.
Oh, well, where does he stay when he's not doing that?
Phantom Isle, right? Oh no, he doesn't live in Phantom Isle. Where the hell does he live?
Yeah.
He lives in a...
Something to be explored in the potential Klonoa 3 since this did well.
Yeah. What's the bet he just lives, like, in a crazy cat lady's house?
Maybe he just gets kept in suspended animation until he's needed, like the frickin' G-Man with Gordon Freeman. Ugh.
What are you gonna say?
What now?
Bye!
It just starts off.
Wow, this is taking a while.
What are they gonna say? Come on. What's the final line? Thanks. Okay, alright.
Profound. What is with that walk, by the way?
He's kicking up the... He's trying to get his shoes off. It's like he's walking into the house.
It's like, I'm gonna walk 6 miles today without bending my knees.
My Apple Watch told me I needed to get 10,000 steps in, and I'm damn well gonna do it.
Just watch me. I'm gonna make it the entire way home without bending my knees. Also, I'm gonna do it while playing while playing the light tiles are lava.
Yeah.
And now our credits are the Wind Waker.
Oh god, that is Wind Waker, isn't it?
I'm gonna say, just like an exact top-down view of this water texture is not very pleasant to look at. It doesn't look so much like water as some kind of biological sample.
Yeah, it does look. It does look a bit Resident Evil. Yeah, it does.
It just looks like we're staring through like some sort of viral film or something at the subatomic level.
Yeah, I feel like this is. I feel like if you were to look through saliva in a microscope, it would look like this.
Ugh.
There you go, everybody. Klonoa 2, the saliva game.
So anyway, that was a thing that certainly happened.
What are your closing thoughts, everybody?
As a game, it's very fun. Story-wise, it's a little awkward. Overall, worth the play, though, especially since it's on, the Klonoa Phantom Reverie remake, so you're getting it for pretty cheap nowadays compared to the PS2 game, which was really expensive before this came out.
I think it's a good thing that we got these that we got these remasters, because people did need an opportunity to re-experience Klonoa to give everyone an idea of the appeal of the franchise, so that we could clear-headedly, I suppose, think about whether or not we want another one. And I think it would be cool to see another one. And I think after...
I'm totally down for another one. If we can get Crash 4, we can absolutely get Klonoa 3.
The thing is, like, all the games that are getting remakes and long overdue sequels and stuff, they're the major heavy hitters of gaming history. You're not going to see a sequel to frickin' Rule of Rose, but you are going to see a sequel to Silent Hill, you know?
True.
Or a remake of
I will say,
Silent
though,
Hill.
through my experience of starting on, 2011, 2012 YouTube and having my generation be a bit above, like, normal boots and everything, like, everybody was talking about Super Nintendo and all that kind of shit, and then I kind of jumped in and was like, hey guys, I'm a 94 baby, I grew up with the PlayStation. The amount of, when I started doing my original videos about Crash and all that kind of stuff, people were like, oh my god, I remember Crash, which is really weird to say that now because of how culturally massive Crash is now again. But yeah, people are like, there was a period when people were just like, didn't know, or they forgot, or they were like, oh, I haven't thought about Crash in ages. And I think that's kind of the same with this one. It's a little bit more niche, but I think the fan base is there. They'll buy it.
Kind of. I think you're understating how much more niche it is.
Oh, it is a lot more niche, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's funny how, like, when you look at when Insane Trilogy came out and you see some of the biggest Let's Players playing it, the way that they would clickbait their videos and the way that people would comment, they would all be like, oh my god, I remember this from when I was a kid. And it's like, for everyone else that's into games, it's like, yeah. Oh, look!
Ryan, the game is calling you out for playing all night.
Good morning.
Didn't take me that long to beat this game.
Is that how we're ending everything? Is instead of goodbye,
Yes.
it's good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for having me
Time
on.
to play Billy Hatcher.
I don't know why you invited me on because I don't think I said anything about Klonoa 2 in any of the parts of Klonoa 2, but I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and don't worry, we didn't say much about the game either.
This was a great playthrough, everybody.